I don't have much time. I'm going to explain to you what you need to do to survive. Let's just get something down here quickly. All right. My whole research team was wiped. I need you guys to pick up the pieces on what you need to do to get rid of the thing. The thing will try to escape at all costs. You, as a researcher, cannot let that happen. Now you need a squad of at least 4 to 8 people. 4 to 8 is what it takes. Here we've gone 4 players. I want to show you quickly what to do. So everybody takes 2 dice, rolls them. The highest one gets the captaincy. This is the captaincy. McCready is going to be the captain for this demonstration. We need to hurry. I hear something off in the distance. If you happen to be more than 4 to 5, you flip it over to the 6 to 8 right here. And we actually move the board down here just so you guys can see it better. You guys need to know what to do. Place the computer marker here. This is going to track how the thing wins. Now, the thing can win in a few different ways. It can either achieve maximum contingent levels. You'll find the trackers as they go up here. It's going to be marked as game over. Or if they destroy the outpost, or last ditch effort, if they've managed to evade your scans and they happen to escape. If they are getting out of here with the rest of you guys, the world is dead. You cannot let that happen. Fortunately, my squad all died trying to defeat the thing. I'm the last one here. I need to tell you guys how to beat this. As a human, you need to escape Outpost 31 after clearing all 3 sectors and ensuring that only humans are on board the helicopter. That is the only way we are going to get out of this alive. And when you're selecting your characters, you need to ensure that you have a nice, diverse group of people to complement each other. As a result, starting with the captain and proceeding clockwise, players choose characters from the department stack with the most remaining characters. Department stack is indicated by the actual colors of the sheets. After everybody selected their characters, you place the corresponding guy inside the rec room. Make sure everybody is there and accounted for. Make sure your mission logs are sorted. If you're playing only a 4 to 5 player game, you remove all cards known to 6, 7, or 8 and return them to the box. You don't need those. Make sure the appropriate amount of mission logs are in there. Also, don't forget you got these cards here. They indicate the flamethrower. They indicate extremely powerful tools like the flamethrower, dynamite, and rope. You need these with you guys. If you have any chance of surviving, make sure they're beside the board in close view. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to take these Sector 1 chips. You're going to place them face down on the board right over here. They're going to indicate exactly what you're going to need to do. Sector 1 is here, Sector 2 is here, Sector 3 is there. It's easily outlined. Important that you guys do this and make sure you do it for not only Sector 1, but for Sector 2 and 3 as well, right from the get-go. Then you take these supply cards right here. These are going to have the items that you're going to try to use to get out alive and flesh out the thing. So you take these, shuffle them up, and put them over here next to the supply. Each player gets 5 cards from the supply deck drawn out. And once they have all 5 cards, you make sure that they put them on their board where they belong. It's important that you can talk about what you have, you cannot show what you have. And speaking of talking, you absolutely need to talk with one another. Do not be shy to communicate. That is the only way you guys will survive. Now, the next thing is really important. You need to hand out some blood sample cards. The blood sample cards look like this on the other side. You're going to either have an imitation, so that means you are the thing. You need to try to get out of Outpost 31 or destroy it or assimilate everybody. If you're a human, can't let the thing survive. You cannot let it survive. So each person gets their blood sample. Now, with all this out the way, we can get to trying to get out of here. The first thing the captain does is that he reveals the top mission card. The top mission card will have instructions on what to do. And in this situation here, he places it in front of everybody. So it's a 3-player team. So the captain then decides who will accompany him on this mission. In this scenario, if you get a 3 die straight in 2 rolls, you get a pass. Now, as the captain is deciding what he wants on his team, he absolutely knows it's 3 players. He must go. The captain needs to be there. But not only that, there needs to be 1 science officer. Blair's the only science officer, so he needs to get in on the action. And in this situation, McCready has a decision to make. He needs to either decide to bring Windows or Childs. At this stage of the game, they can either solicit for they can say, I want to help, Or McCready can just go ahead and pull rank and say, okay, no, we're going with this team. The person that stays behind in this case, during the mission, will have an opportunity to discard a card and draw a new one at the end of the turn. So don't forget, you're going to be drawing that card if you stay behind. It'll allow you to filter and get some of the stuff that you might not want in your deck out of it. Now the captain needs to select a room containing a room chip within the unlocked sector. So sector 1 is the only unlocked one at this point. So in this situation, we're going to have Childs, we're going to have McCready, and we have no choice but to have Blair. So they're out in the hallway here. They're going to decide, McCready is going to decide which room that he wants his team to go into and investigate, and then place all those guys in there. We're going to go into the manager's office. So what happens is that each player throws in a card from the supply, their supply, and then they hand it off to the captain. The captain at this point shuffles. Now, if you notice, Windows, who stayed behind, he doesn't throw a card in simply because he's not part of the investigation at this point. The mission is a go with these 3 guys. Captain then looks at them. If there was any sabotages, they'd reveal them immediately, but so far, the players have handed in their cards and are trying to complete the mission. That bodes well for this team. The captain then has a choice to discard a card. He'll do that face down right here, and then he can pick up another one. So here there's 2 dice, 4 dice, 7 dice. So the captain has to roll at this point 7 dice and try to get a straight within 2 rolls. That's 1 roll. Go and look at the second roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, a nice little straight here. They pass. So McCready and his gang managed to successfully investigate the room. Now, what I could have done on the last go, when I was missing that 1 or 2, is I can use a captain power once a turn. Captain power for McCready at least is add +1 or -1 to any die roll. That's always an option to help you try to meet your requirements. Each player has their own abilities that they can use. There are different advantages for other players being captain. It's important to make sure you're human as a captain. No way of you knowing that. You just need to use smart judgment to get the right people in the points of leadership. If the team's successful, at this point they reveal the room chip. In this situation, it is a thing. So this gets put into here. And now these guys need to help fight the thing. When a thing chip is revealed, you place the appropriate thing character in the room. In this case, it's a level 1, so you get the small one, thankfully. To resolve a battle, all team members hand in a card into the pool, just like you did for the investigation for the mission. However, in this case, the supply cards handed in need to have high dice values. You need to make sure that as the captain who's going to be battling the thing, that you equip the captain as best as you can so that a successful dice roll will resolve the battle. So each player chooses the card that they want from their supply, hands it in. In this case, we have a knife, an axe, and copper wire. Quite the combination. Any sabotage cards that would be in there are immediately dealt with, or the battle fails. If they're not able to deal with any sabotage cards, that would be it. Thankfully, there are no sabotage cards in this situation. The captain may swap any one pool card, discarding it and exchanging it for another from the supply deck. So the amount of dice here is totaled. Important to note, you cannot roll more than the 6 dice for this battle. The captain must roll a 3 of a kind or a 4 of a kind to defeat the thing. As a captain, because I didn't use the ability here, I am going to give this 3 a -1. I have my 3 of a kind, so I do defeat the thing on the first roll. Because this is a level 1, I would have gotten 3 different attempts in order to try to get trips. Thankfully, I did it on the first go. And because the thing was defeated, at this stage, we put the little chip that was revealed here. And as soon as we get both of these completed, so I need a rope, so that lets us go into Sector 2. On Sector 2, we'll then need to do the dynamite, and defeat a level 2 thing to move on to level 3. This happens all the way up until we try to escape. So we continuously go through the board, making our way out of Outpost 31 in order to escape. So we do need to fulfill those requirements. Along the way, there are situations like here where a power outage in a certain sector would cause a room to go dark. It might be more difficult to complete your missions. If rooms get destroyed, you put the destroy marker that's right here. You put it right here on the destroyed rooms. If we get to 4 destroyed rooms, the game is over. Similarly here, as things happen, this track would move to game over as well. And on the track here, there's also indicating how many blood tests you can do at the end of the game. So if you are running really well as a team, you get to try to do 2 blood tests. I'll explain the end of the game in just a second. It can go all the way up to no blood tests. So these blood tests will help you try to weed out any things or duplicates that are within your party that have not been uncovered. And as you move on from phase to phase, as indicated by the escape track here, what will happen is assimilation events will occur where this sample deck, or the deck of blood samples, will be dealt out to the rest of the team to indicate the spread of the infection, if any. If, as the game draws to a close, other players get imitation cards, they are no longer human. They have now been infected and are now trying to stop the humans from annihilating or uncovering the rest of the infected. As soon as the final Sector 3 room chip requirement is added to the objective tracker, right over here, the game immediately proceeds to the final escape phase. At this point, the human players will attempt to select the team to escape on the helicopter while leaving imitations behind. Imitations at this point are trying to sneak in at least one of their players onto the escape team to spread the contagion to the rest of the world. So it is imperative that humans are on point with selecting their team, because a false selection will result in a game loss. The captain of the team that successfully filled the objective tracker nominates another player to be the final captain. The player at this point is responsible for seeing the escape through to the end, but they need to meet the approval of the majority of the rest of the players first. Once the players have had a chance to offer their thoughts, it's time for the captain to call a vote. Any active players at this stage of the game all hold out their fist over the game board like this with a sideways thumb. Captain decides on a player that they need to vote for, and simultaneously, on a count of 3, 2, 1, each player will either decide a yay or nay, and that will indicate whether that person is part of the party. Majority wins. That nominee is passed to the captain indicator, who is now the final captain, and they proceed on planning the rest of the escape. If a no or a tie happens, the player to the current captain left becomes the new captain and must nominate a player who has not been previously nominated. This goes on until you filled your team of escapees. For every 2 nominees rejected, the contingent level rises by 1. The contingent level here would rise. Now at this stage, this is where a blood test that I mentioned over here becomes so imperative. Once the final captain's been selected, they have access to the end blood test. That is the last part of the game that we need to get through. The captain checks the contagion level on the infection tracker to determine how many, if there is even one, of the blood tests they are allowed to do. After discussion with the other players, the final captain selects players totaling the number. So here we're allowed doing 2 blood samples. So the final captain can select players who then reveal their blood sample cards. In this case, McCready is a human, and one of the other people that was selected was Childs, an imitation. Sorry, not Childs. Windows was an imitation. At this point, they're not getting onto the chopper. That is a last-minute Hail Mary that happened to work. The final captain is automatically considered to be aboard the helicopter, but must choose the rest of the members on the escape carefully. Imitations who were just revealed through the end blood test won't be selected. There's no reason for them to be selected. After all, you do want to win the game, right? But all other players are eligible to escape. The final captain must select at least as many players as the escape targets in the rule book show. So for a 4-player game, 2 to 3 humans need to be on that chopper. So you can't just say, I'm taking off alone because I'm the captain, I know I'm human. You have to bring other people with you. And once the final captain has selected players to board the helicopter, each of the character movers should be placed on the Outpost 31 helipad. That's right over there. As the game closes now, one at a time, starting with the final captain, each player on the helicopter reveals their blood sample card. At this point, it's nice and easy to decide who wins. Imitations will get the victory at this point if they manage to stow away an imitation on the helicopter during escape. Their other two victories would have happened way before this, either by infecting the humans and raising the contingent level to the maximum, or by destroying most of the outpost. Humans get a victory if all humans are in that escape helicopter. That is how to play the game. I hope that you're able to stop the thing you need to stop the thing. I can hear it approaching. I have to get out of here. Good luck.